in 58 matches here, and this term only 1 goal conceded in winning 6 of their 7 home fixtures. So the 2 captains preparing for the toss-up. Ray Wilkins alongside me here. It, as James was saying, has a really good feel to it, this game.
It certainly does, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. This really does seem to be a super fixture. We've got 2 of the top scorers in Serie A, and it really should turn out to be an afternoon of goal-mouth activity, and let's hope so. Napoli, it's nice to see them rejuvenated, really. They've had their troubles off the field and their troubles on it, but it's nice to see them coming back into their own. But as you said before, Peter, to actually come here to Parma, it's going to be a really tough outing for them. I'm really looking forward to seeing the likes of Zola and Asprilla perform. Zola was a magnificent buy from Naples for the Parma club, and I think he's really been one of the mainstays in this terrific formation.
Just checking through the 2 lineups here. Sensini, the Argentine, who's come from Udinese after the long-term injury to Georges Grun, the Belgian. And there is Zola, very much the playmaker in the Parma side, alongside Kripa and also Brolin, the Swedish international, and then the pace up front of Asprilla, and supported by Melli. And I think Scala will have found it hard to have left him out today, Ray.
Yes, quite true, Peter. Melli really is a goal poacher. It really is you can't use that word enough for Melli. He scores so many goals just hanging around that 18-yard box, and he really has been an influence on the Parma side. But Scala has decided to go with a certain formation, and who can doubt what he said? He's been absolutely magnificent since he's taken over the reins at Parma.
Parma in the all-white strip, kicking from left to right as we look out, and this is Balleri wearing 2. Minotti to Brolin. Parma are so hard to dispossess. Their passing is attractive and accurate. And they suddenly break so quickly to exploit the pace of Asprilla, who looked to be back to his best form in the last couple of matches after a barren spell. His goal at Canary was his first since October, and he got another one in the week in the Italian Cup win over Brescia.
We've got a very interesting Swedish confrontation as well, haven't we? We've got Thomas Brolin, and it appeared to me there that Jonas Thern was picking him up man for man, so that should be a very pleasant afternoon for the 2 of them. Brolin has really performed exceptionally well in this dropped role. He is a forward player, but he's down a lot deeper this season, and it'd be interesting to see the battle that goes on between Thern and Brolin.
Free kick to Napoli for offside. Di Fusco in goal for Napoli. Tagliatella is still out through injury. Bia with a free kick. This is Thern. It goes Thern again. Now Thern. Uzo wearing 7. They will have a wide roll up front. We'll see how he settles in. Uzo, who's one of several players on loan to Napoli. They really can't afford to buy too many outright at the moment. Fonseca, they were delighted to hold on to him after definite interest from Milan during the summer. In the end, the fee was too high, around 8 million they wanted for him. The tackling back then by Brolin, helped out by Balleri. But here's Buso. Quite a scrap going on, and in the end it's a decision in favour of Napoli. I think the throw.
It's nice to see no intervention from the referee as well, Peter. Normally in those instances we see the ref butt in, but that was all perfectly legal, and good stuff there from Brolin and Jonas Thern.
This is Bardin. The tackle though by Matricano, although I don't think the referee liked it. Matricano, who's getting his chance in the side because of injury to Grun, and also Apolloni out through suspension. He was expecting a long run anyway when Grun was injured, but they signed Sensini instead. This is Buso. Dangerous ball in, and a chance and a goal! Gambro. His first goal. Well, of all people, that Gambro popping up with the far post.
Yes, Buso did exceptionally well, Peter. He comes out, he whips in a nice cross. Very difficult height for defenders. This just top tipping the tops of people's heads. And there's Gambaro on the far post with a very neatly taken goal on the volley.
Well, he had 4 seasons with Parma, Gambaro, and what delight he will be taking here on returning to the stadium and scoring against his old club. What a start for Napoli. Busso with the cross. Fonseca was at the far post, but so also was Gambaro to give his team the lead.
We thought we might see some goals, Peter, but I thought the game had actually started very tentatively. I thought they were trying to feel each other out, but that's a nice little start for us, a good early goal.
Well, Asprilla of Parma was the favourite to score the first goal. I'm not sure what the odds were on Gambaro popping up with one. Gambaro, who's on loan from Milan. The goal time at just 3 minutes. And that's only the second home goal that Parma have conceded this season. Free kick taken by Zola. Wide of Brolin. Fonseca chasing back at him. My word, there's a spring in the step of Napoli at the moment. And rightly so too, a shock opening goal for them. Valeri with the throw. Here's Turn. Becchia knocking on to Fonseca. Now Turn, Fonseca again.
A lovely play there from Fonseca, Peter. A great turn initially, and a nice little 1-2 with Jonas Turn, and great vision, picking out Gambaro on the right back position.
Bia is the last man here, and almost got in trouble with the speed off the mark of Asprilla. Bia, of course, is still a Parma player on loan to Napoli. And not only is that Gambaro's first goal for Parma, it's his first goal any time in Serie A for anyone.
Always nice as well for him to score it against his old club, Peter. It's always nice to go back to your old clubs and perform, and to actually put one past them is a very pleasant sensation. I can say I've done it too much myself, but it must be a very nice feeling for him.
We would have to get out the record books for that, wouldn't we? Gambaro. I must stop taking the mickey out of you. Your teammates have had a go at me for that, I hear.
I was quite amazed, actually, but yeah, they said that bracket does have a pop in you, Red, and I was quite astounded that they were sticking up for me.
Well, it was that reference to your age of 43, I think, that threw people last week. Nobody really believes you're that young. Minotti. Held that by Ferrara, the captain of Napoli, and one of the markers at the back. A resolute and determined defender, Ferrara, former Italian international. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders this season. Now Zola, tripping past the tackles. Did well to hold on to it too. Asprilla. And how quickly he was confronted then by Canavaro, who has been booked for the challenge.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate to be booked, I think, Peter. It actually looks a lot worse than it is. I think Asprilla was slipping onto him. But I think if you could analyse the sort of first touch that Asprilla took, and he turned all in one motion, it was quite a fantastic first touch on the ball after some very nifty footwork from Zola. But this is a dangerous old position for Napoli. Zola's scored a magnificent goal from a similar position last week, and he's a very dangerous customer from here.
4 of his 8 goals this season have come from long-range free kick, Zola. Learnt so much, of course, under the maestro Diego Maradona during his time with Napoli. Now, what can he conjure up here? Asprilla there is lurking as well. Referee still not happy that the wall is far enough back. Pierluigi Pairetto from Turin, the official today, in charge. Zola is taking charge of this situation. Here is Zola now. Got a second chance. And De Fusco happy that the wall did its job.
Yes, I think if you look at the wall, they must know Zola off by heart, these guys, because they all jumped in unison, and obviously making themselves another foot taller by doing so, and Zola has had no chance really of sticking it in the corner.
Fusco, who's in his 4th spell now with Napoli. He's a bit like your old mate Luciari, doesn't play too often.
Yeah, it's sad for him, isn't it? It's nice to see him get that chance, and let's hope he takes it.
Valeri, who's taking his chance in the absence of Di Chiara. Now Pecchia. What a fine season he's having for Napoli. Young man who came from Avellino, but again is officially on Parma's books. He's never played for them. Fonseca to Gambaro, the goal scorer. Valeri taking no chances there. And goalkeeper Bucci couldn't keep it in play. Bucci, who had an injury in the match last week at Cagliari and didn't complete the game. Indeed, he was replaced after only 20 minutes. Didn't play in the week, but fit enough to resume the #1 choice goalkeeping jersey today. Now Carini taking the corner. Away by Settini. Carini's cross in. Another man on loan from Sampdoria.
Yes, he looked as if he might have a very good career at Sampdoria, Peter, and then he stagnated slightly. But it's nice to see him playing, because I believe he was the captain of the under-21 side, the Italian under-21 side that won the European trophy. And he really did look an exceptional prospect. But he stood still a bit. But now he's getting regular games for Naples. Let's hope that he can come onto his game again.
Yes, he had an injury problem earlier in the season and has only just returned to the side. Minotti. Here's Kripa. Looking for Asprilla. Delicately laid off to Benarivo. Now Asprilla, who's so strong and again driving relentlessly towards goal, and it was Canavaro who came across to cover his run.
And it must be said, he's got a tough old task, Canavaro, this afternoon, because Asprilla is one man that really is in form, and he's got electrifying pace. So it's going to be a very tough defensive job for him.
Zola with the corner. And it was Carini guarding the post. Whipped over then by Zola. Minotti there, right on the goal line. They've posted Matricano forward too. Almost reached Melli. Here's Matricano now, trying to plough a path to goal. No foul. It's a Napoli throw.
Yeah, the ball came in. Fusco, he didn't look too happy on the first corner, I didn't think, and he's just getting underneath the ball there. I think that's a little bit of ring rust there. When he doesn't get a game, he's a bit anxious to get out there and get the first ball.
Fonseca. Foul then by Melli. First goal of the day from other matches has been scored by Atalanta at home to Genoa. In fact, Genoa, I'm told, have now equalised. It's Scaravi for Genoa and Maurizio Gantz for Atalanta. This is Fonseca trying to get through for Napoli. Away by Belleri. Offside. It wouldn't have counted, but Fonseca again posing problems.
Yeah, he's very alert. He's a super player, is Fonseca. He's very intelligent as a footballer. But we saw the other side of the game there with Bucci in goal. They're trying to get him booked, and I think that's a sad state of affairs when someone does something wrong. Yes, they have done it wrong, but straight away the hand goes up to get them booked. I think it's quite sad when fellow professionals are attempting to do that.
Benarivo. Asprilla. Napoli defending doggedly, and Parma not really into their stride as yet. This is Gambaro.
They're defending deeply as well, Peter. They don't want to give that space in behind. We were talking about it last week with Inter in the second half. They don't want to allow the likes of Asprilla all that space in which to run into, so they're defending slightly deeper.
Melli. Here's Bia. Now Gambaro. Napoli, who've climbed up to 8th place in the table after their disappointing start. Asprilla. Oh, DiFusco just got a hand to it then.
Oh, word, he made a great decision in the finish, Peter, didn't he? Because I didn't think the defender was going to get with Asprilla, and Fusco came out and made a really timely interception there.
He's made only 23 appearances in 7 seasons, DiFusco.
Yeah, I think Asprilla was actually going to nod that through and perhaps get on the end of that, and Fusco's made a good decision.
Certainly hasn't let them down when he's come into the side, DiFusco. Mandelli has scored, I'm hearing now, for Foggia at home to Torino. Foggia 1, Torino 0, the goal from Mandelli. Canavaro. Well, the Hope fans thought was climbing all over Asprilla. Referee has ruled the other way.
Yeah, I think he thought he was making a bit of a back for him. You can see he's getting a little bit agitated as well, Asprilla. He's being marked very, very closely, and he probably gets it week in, week out, but the young defender's marking him exceptionally tight.
He's a lot stronger now than when he first came to Italy, Asprilla. They've prepared a special training program for him to increase his muscularity, to make it more powerful.
There's Fonseca again, very, very bright. Doesn't want defenders dithering on the ball. He was in like a flash, and slightly unfortunate not to capitalise on that.
Fonseca, who's also having another outstanding season, 7 goals so far in just 10 matches. He, of course, missed the start of the campaign, away on World Cup duty with Uruguay. Just as Asprilla was absent for the start of Parma season, he was with Colombia, who did get through. Uruguay didn't. Away by Sensini. Now Melli. Trying to shake off Carini, and the free kick given to Parma.
Yeah, it's a shame that Uruguay didn't get through, Pinnit. When you think of, you know, the likes of Fonseca, Sosa, they all won't be playing in the World Cup. It's a pretty sad state of affairs.
Parma throw, forced by Crippa. Crippa, who had had 5 successful years in Naples, including being a part of their championship side in 1990. And he won international caps then, and he's hoping to rebuild his career with the national team through his form with Parma.
And his form's been quite exceptional, Peter, hasn't it? He's done very, very well indeed. You know, when you think of the likes of Zola and Brolin playing just in front of him, he does an exceptional job for Parma.
Asprilla. Parma still a goal down. Surprise opening strike by Gambaro after only 3 minutes for Napoli. Carini away. Only as far as Crippa. Up by Canavaro. Now Fonseca on the charge again. Africano with the saving tackle. Makes these darting, thrusting runs, Fonseca. Very hard to contain. Here he is again now. Linking with Buzo. No foul by Sensini. Play on, says the referee. Crippa. Now Bia, the sweeper. It's his turn. Given away, though, to Matricano. Now Brolin. Parma looking to string their passes together and get Valeria way down the right here. And it's Buzo back defending.
Yeah,
very
good
cool.
defending. Yeah, exceptional, Peter. That's good stuff. He doubled up there with, I think it was Bia. And that's very good play from Buzo. Good cover.
And he's still back in defence. That's a foul on Pecchia by Matricano.
I think that's one of the things we do see week in, week out in the Italian football, is the way that the wider players in the middle of the park do track back exceptionally well. Their concentration is excellent, and they're always there or thereabouts to help out their defensive part.
Fonseca. Support from Pecchia, at least he would have had. And the free kick's been given for the foul on Fonseca. And while we're watching this, we're seeing another goal race. Sorry to interrupt there. Cremonese have scored against Udinese. Gianni Biaggi has given his team the lead.
I can't really see where this hurt Fonseca that much. It was a lovely one too, and I thought it was just a case of obstruction, but obviously Fonseca has been hurt slightly more than I thought.
Well, he's not in the middle now, so they've had to carry on without him for the moment. Asprilla. And obviously Fonseca has a problem. Maybe fell awkwardly. I didn't see that one too well.
Well, I didn't actually see him fall too badly, Peter, but it appears that he's holding his nose, and I thought it was good refereeing to get on with the game.
You've been blowing yours.
Yes, that's right. It's this wicked flu about, isn't it? I think everybody's copped for it, though, haven't they?
But for QPR fans listening, you'll be fit for the game tomorrow.
Yes, no problem, Peter. Everything should be okay.
If selected.
But of course.
Carini threading it on. Easily cut out though by Minotti. Very commanding figure at the back, Minotti for Parma. That's Pecchia fighting well for it. Now Fonseca hoping to set himself up for a chance here, but Benarivo getting back in the nick of time.
Who does look an exceptional player, doesn't he? We talk about all the forward players in Italian football, but Benarivo really does look a good fullback. And you spoke about Minotti previously, Peter. Two really good players.
Fonseca with Pecchia. Now Belleri approaching the halfway point in the first half. Parma really haven't got going yet.
They're finding it tough. It's a rejuvenated Napoli side. They're putting under a lot of pressure on Naples when Parma are in possession of the ball, and they're making it a tough afternoon for them.
On by turn.
Now that football there, for instance, was first class. 1 and 2 touch, moving the ball on nice and quickly. Good running off the ball. That was exceptional football.
Young Pecchia here going down. That who's forced his way into the side after some sparkling pre-season performances, and he's maintained that form since.
This is good refereeing we're seeing here as well, Peter. He's not standing for nothing, he's Mr. Partido. He's really getting on with the game.
Turn with the free kick. Canavaro in there again. That whose goal divides the two teams. Forward by Bia. Turn. This is Buzo. Bia. Udinese have now equalised away to Cremonese. Penalty from Branco. Cremonese 1, Udinese 1. Asprilla. Now Pecchia. Belleri wins it back though for Parma. On from Zola. Asprilla. Belleri. This is more like it from Parma. Still Asprilla. He's round one. Tackle! Explosive bursting by Faustino Asprilla.
Oh, that was fantastic football, Peter. He really did play a very nice one too. And you look at his power, his strength as he goes forward, and unfortunately he just miscued the ball at the last minute, but that really would have been a goal to remember had that have gone in.
Ferrara, one of the players trying to stop him in full flight. So much strength then revealed by Asprilla. Maybe a little off balance when he finally shot at goal.
Yes, I think that was the case, Peter. He doesn't look the most gainly guy when he's actually flying at full speed, and I think he just took his eye off the ball at the last moment and just screwed it wide. And here we see it was a great one too. And I think he actually went for a little nutmegs there, but as he goes through, it shows tremendous power. And he might have been actually better off towing it along to Melli, actually, who had made a good run to get up alongside him. Asprilla was off balance, but perhaps a little toe poke into Melli's path might have been the better option.
5 goals from Asprilla so far this season, doing a hat-trick when he returned for his first full outing of the season against Torino. Fonseca. Well, it looked a good turn, but it was an illegal one.
Yes, I thought it was a great turn, but I thought it was handball, Pete, and it was a super turn. I think that's the problem with these guys. If you get too tight to them and let them know exactly where you are, they'll roll you and they'll turn you with no problem.
Brolin. Asprilla suffering from flu, Thomas Brolin, which caused him to miss the match last week at Canary. So maybe he's still a bit under the weather. Hasn't really influenced this game so far.
No, he's not been in the game, Peter, and I think Jonas Towns had something to do with that. He really is staying in and around his area. Wherever he goes, he seems to be picking him up, and he's making it an uncomfortable time for him.
Zola with the kick. And Asprilla almost on the end of it. Managed to keep it in, but no more.
No, he did well, Asprilla. That was chasing a lost cause. That was it was excellent. I think it was Menotti that got in a very good header. And Asprilla just wanted to see the ball right to the very end, and he was a little bit unfortunate he didn't make more of it. There's the header going in, and Asprilla really did ever so well to keep that ball in, and that was a good effort on his behalf.
And much relief for Napoli and DISFRUTES, but he could make no more of that. Buzo, who seems to be operating from a deep role rather than as an outright striker. Pecchia seems to be the player supporting Fonseca here the most. Good defensive work, though, by Settini. Now then to Brolin. Brolin to take the free kick. Asprilla trying to wriggle through. Canavaro, as ever, right on his shirt tail.
It's a good battle they're having, isn't it? I think Canavaro is just in front at the moment, but it really is a good battle. He actually looked as if he played the ball. It actually looked a good tackle.
Zola, as ever, organising the free kick. Kripa alongside him here. Looking for Melli, didn't find him. Turn able to clear. News coming in of a setback for Paul Gascoigne's team, Lazio. They're a goal down to the bottom side, Lecce. Lecce at home today. Gazzani has scored. Another Gazza. It's turned now. Shadow by Kripa. Knocked on then by Brolin to Asprilla. Again, he couldn't outsmart young Canavaro. But the free kick has been given, this time in favour of Parma. Canavaro, who's come up through the youth ranks at Napoli and looks a good prospect, Ray.
Yes, he does, and he just got his studs caught in the ground there, Canavaro, and he's actually marked Asprilla very well. He's marked him tightly, but not too tightly where he can really roll him and turn him. And it's good that a young guy coming up through the ranks can take on such a tough old task. The sort of financial state that Napoli are in at the moment, it's nice to have players that they're bringing through their youth ranks. Yeah, we see it once again. There's a little bit of a tug, but I think it was just there. He got his boot caught in the floor and twisted his ankle.
Only played a couple of times in Serie A last season, Canavaro, but he's been a regular in this campaign. Although not in our live matches, in the two previous games we featured of Napoli, he didn't play in either. Turn. Up towards Pecchia. Benarivo, though, was there. And Kripa knocking it on.
He actually looks to be in a bit of agony, Canavaro. He's limping around out there. And they might be advised to get someone else to pick Asprilla up at the moment, because if the ball was to come to, I don't think he could stay with it.
Brolin. Melli lurking in the middle. Asprilla. There's danger here. And Zola unable to keep it down.
Yeah, if there was anyone that you'd probably want to see on the edge of the box at this time in the game, it would be Zola having a free crack at goal. Here we see Asprilla get on the ball. Canavaro can't get with him. It's just a little toe poke into Zola's path. And I think he screws it a mile wide, but he normally is very accurate from that sort of area. And I think that's young Canavaro on the floor in quite a bit of difficulty.
Well, they've got two experienced defenders on the bench in Corradini and Naylor. So it may well be they are forced to make a switch.
So I think they would possibly go for Naylor as well, Pete, if they were to make a switch. Being a goal up, I think that little bit of added experience may come in very handy.
On the 3 occasions that he hasn't played for Napoli this season, his team have ended up on the losing side in each one.
All's well. He looks as if he's ready to carry on, and hopefully he is as well, because he's performed admirably up to now. Let's hope he can continue to do so.
And certainly his coach Marcello Lippi has a lot of faith in him and believes he can go on to greater things. And he has the same confidence in this fellow. Pecchia just slipped it too far then for Fonseca, but some excellent approach play by young Pecchia. Turn. Off goes Fonseca again. No joy this time. It's Benarivo for Parma. Uzo. Belly on the chase. Again, good defending by Napoli. Here's Turn. On to Pecchia. They look dangerous when they're breaking too. Fonseca. Turns in the middle, so is Pecchia. In goes Turn. Only inches away from scoring his first ever goal for Napoli.
Yes, I think we can safely say that the Napoli have been the better side in the first half, Peter. That was an excellent move from him. A great run off the ball again from Fonseca. He's playing up there on his own, but he's working tirelessly. He's making good runs for everybody, and he's actually easy to pick out because of those runs. And it was an exceptional ball that he played in, and Jonas Turn just didn't have that extra yard that he could get there and stick it in the net.
Half an hour gone. Carini with the corner. A comfortable catch though for Bucci.
They're rather wasted. I think Napoli only sent 2 players up anyway. It's a little bit defensive thinking at this moment in time. The game would only be about 25 minutes old, and to actually send just 2 players up for a corner, sorry, 30 minutes old, to send 2 players up for a corner is a bit negative.
Minotti. Ripa quickly closed down though by Turn, and the referee dissatisfied with the challenge. Benarivo. It's only a nudge in the back then by Turn.
He got a slight nudge, but I don't think it takes too much to put people over, does it?
You old cynic, you. Gambaro. Caught in possession though by Benarivo. Another surging run down the flank by him. In towards Belly. First time strike, scooped out. Asprilla appeals for penalty, and it's given.
Yeah, quite right too. A definite penalty. You saw how alert he was, Asprilla. It was absolutely terrific. The ball just came off of Fusco, who made a good save. I think it was Melli that hit it on the turn. As the ball comes across, it's Melli that has the little snapshot, and Fusco actually makes a good save, because I think that's slightly deflected. But look at Asprilla. He was off like a shot, and I think Ferrara just was a little bit late arriving on the ball, and I think quite right it was a penalty.
It was the speed of thought then of Asprilla that led to the penalty. Ferrara now has been cautioned. It was his tackle, certainly, on the Colombian that resulted in the penalty kick awarded by Pierluigi Paeretto. Well, maybe that's the Napoli coach who shot himself. No, it's not that serious.
No, it isn't that serious. It is a penalty, and I think Canavaro is limping off the field and limping out of the action, which is a shame, because he's had an exceptional half an hour. He's played very well indeed, and for the young man to have to go off, it's a bit of a shame. But it is a penalty, and I think Mr. Paeretto was exactly right in his decision.
Brolin just trying to calm himself down amidst all the turmoil, all the confusion. Buzo has been booked as well. Napoli absolutely incensed by the decision, but certainly, to my mind, and to that of Ray Wilkins, it was a penalty. DiFusco still unhappy, being, I was going to say, consoled by Carini, but I think Carini maybe has had a word with it there. Of course, Carini. Now Ferreira still arguing.
Just a little bit delay in tactics, I think. Peter, that's all. Ferrara wants to keep it going on a lot longer. So Brolin's nerves come to the boil.
Maybe Carini knows something that we don't in advising his goalkeeper. But here is Brolin with the kick. And Brolin makes it 1-1.
That's another very interesting technique. It actually looks as if Brolin stares at the goalkeeper, Fusco, up until the very, very last second, and he doesn't appear to look at the ball. And it's only at the last minute that he straightens his foot out and he pushes it into the far side. Very interesting technique. He only took a couple of strides to it. A very impressive penalty.
Brolin's third goal of the season puts Parma level, and maybe we'll steady them down a bit now. They certainly haven't been in full flow so far. 33 minutes gone. Parma 1, Napoli 1.
Yeah, they've looked very edgy, Parma. I think obviously there's a lot of pressure on them. They're sitting at the top of the division, and there's a lot of pressure on them to perform, and I think that might be just a little settler that they need to get back and to start playing some good football.
Villa. And let's hope too that it doesn't throw Napoli out of their stride. They've done well. They've acquitted themselves to the task of holding Parma and have looked dangerous on the break. Oh, Ferrara is living very dangerously, though.
Yes, he's living very dangerously, because I think we've seen in weeks gone by that you can't really argue with referees in that tone, and especially in Italian football, they'll have you off the field.
Well, Paretto is having consultations down there with Lippi, the coach of Napoli. That was Belleri's tackle on Ferrara.
Yeah, a bit of a late tackle, Peter, wasn't it? A bit of a lunge up, but nothing too serious.
Ferrara. Gambaro. Canavaro for Parma. The crowd beginning to raise their voices now. Off goes Asprilla, released by Ferrara now.
Ferrara's looked very, very composed, and he's gone and taken the man-to-man marking job on Asprilla now, since Canavaro's gone off the field. He's a very, very experienced defender, and he's had an exceptional game already this afternoon. Very composed in defence.
Just to confirm, it's Corradini who has come on as a substitute for Napoli in place of Canavaro. Tigrish tackling by Cripper, can't get away with that. Oh, Carini on the end of some savage work then by Cripper, and he's been sent off.
Standing none of it, Peter, is he, the referee? There was definitely a little kick up there, but I think that could have been resolved with a yellow card. But he's sending them both off, and Cripper actually looks to say what for, but he did actually have a swoosh up at Carini, and Carini did retaliate with a couple of slaps on the chest, I think, but he's having none of it, Mr. Paretto, and we're down to 10 men apiece.
Well, we're just waiting to see what exactly there is. What's happened? Both have been dismissed. I thought for a moment there maybe Carini was the only one going, but oh, that was very, very unsavoury, the whole thing.
Well, he just legs tangled initially, and then as Cripper couldn't get it out and Carini was laying on top, he just had a little kick up, and obviously Carini didn't rate that too favourably, and they had an exchange, handbags at a yard, and I think they would have sorted that out without having to send the players off.
So controversy in Parma, both teams down to 10 men. Belleri with the backward header, safely gathered by Bucci.
I think on the balance of play up to now, I think you'd have to say that would favour Napoli, because Cripper has been quite influential, whereas Carini's been quite quiet. So it should end up a very interesting game.
Fonseca off to Pecchia. Zola's won it back with some delightful skill.
Magical skill, wasn't it? That's great football from Zola. Absolutely great football, but then just overdoes it, and been a bit fortunate, I think, to get a free kick, yeah.
Sansini has taken it quickly to Melli. Well, it's turning certainly into an eventful match. 1-1 the score. Two sendings off. Melli. Well cut out then by Villa.
I think that incident just came a bit too close to that little bit of frustration they have with the penalty for Naples, and it just tended to overboil a little bit the game, and I think Mr. Paretto wanted to stamp his authority back onto it, get it into line, and he made his decision.
Lazio have now equalised away to Lecce, and it's the Dutchman Arend Winter who has scored the goal. Lecce 1, Lazio 1. And it's Milan 2, Cagliari 1. Massaro has scored both the Milan goals, and Villa for Cagliari. Milan level with Parma at the top of the table, but they've played a game less, both on 21 points. Then comes Sampdoria on 20. Sampdoria at home to Reggiana today. Juventus and Inter on 19, Lazio on 18. Ferrara. Firm challenge by Africano, and the referee has given the free kick.
Yeah, I think Valeri, if you watch Valeri here, just the initial push-up, but I think you see that he goes slightly, I don't think he gave it for that, he gave it for the second one. He goes slightly over the top of the ball on the second challenge.
And that, I think, was Matricano. Buzo here with the free kick. Ferrara. Now that for turn. This is Pecchia. Ahead of him is Fonseca. Brolin to Asprilla for Parma. Trying to send Valeri on his way, but Ferrara with the interception. Now Pecchia. Valeri. Came from Cosenza back in the summer. Valeri. Sensini to Minotti. Another man on the fringe of the Italian national team, Minotti. That's good distribution too. The run by Asprilla. Overcame Beer.
He does show some delightful skill though, Asprilla. That was very difficult for him. And it was just a quick change of feet and he's off again. And he took a dive, I think, to get the free kick. Oh, well, it's not a free kick, it's a goal kick. He definitely took a dive, but he definitely shows some unorthodox skills, as it were. His balance off both feet is quite exceptional.
Well, he's a handful for any defender, Asprilla. And it's often taking more than one to control him. It's his turn. Corradini, another player from the championship winning squad of 1990. But can't get a regular place in the side this season, mainly due to the form of Canavaro. And also Franchini when he's fit. Another man out at the moment. 4 minutes to half time. Asprilla. Again, surrounded by blue shirts. Whenever he's in possession, Asprilla.
He's not really going anywhere here. Ferrara's a bit impetuous there to have a pop it in there. He's not really going anywhere. He's going away from the goal. He showed some delightful little skills there, a little drag back. And this again is a very dangerous area in which to give away free kicks, especially when you have the likes of Zola in your ranks, because this is well within his capabilities. It's a shame actually that the game's getting a little bit edgy. We've seen some good football, some very good technique and a couple of nice goals. But unfortunately I think tempers are getting a little bit frayed at the moment.
Ferrara, who has already been cautioned, remember. It was his hacking at Asprilla that has earned this latest free kick. Zola hovering over the ball. Some jostling going on, I think. Minotti's effort. Plucked out of the air, though, by Di Fusco. Jump by Benarivo initially. Asprilla, though, losing out. This is Beer. It's not a bad ball either. Seeking out Fonseca.
Yeah, that's a shame that he's gone and done that, Fonseca, because he's causing lots of problems with some great runs. It was a great diagonal run that he made off his marker to get in that position, and to actually just waste it with a bit of a lazy and slack back heel was a bit sad, really.
Asprilla. Is that out of play? No. Pecchia. Corradini, who slotted in at the back, but Ferrara seems now to be picking up Asprilla. And there's another injury. Certainly the game has lost some of its rhythm now.
Yes, it has. We want to see 11 players play 11 players, Peter, and I think when he looks back at the referee, he might think he was just a little bit rash in sending him off. I think it was a sort of thing that you see a lot of it in a lot of games, and it wasn't something that was, I think, really over the top. And unfortunately, since the two guys have gone off, who are obviously both very influential, it's a bit of a shame that it has lost its rhythm. And that, again, that little incident there was just a few arms flying, and he's got a little whack in the eye.
Matricano, and he seems to be okay now. Former Foggia player, who also featured in that successful Italian under-21 side that won the European Championship back in '92. On by Brolin. Jump then by Zola. Asprilla. Yet another free kick. Asprilla beginning to lose his patience now. Every time he gets the ball, he's clattered. And he's come to expect that, I'm sure. Such is his reputation.
He actually gets himself, his body position was excellent, Asprilla, as the ball comes into him to receive it. He's side on to Ferrara, making it very difficult for him. And Ferrara just came straight through the back of him. You have to watch himself because Mr. Paretto's already booked him. They are slightly more lenient with the captains of the side because it's the captain that is allowed to speak to the referee if something goes wrong. And he was booked for over-protesting. But I think he's got to be just a little bit careful.
Villa. Gambaro, whose goal gave Napoli that early lead. That's not a bad pass. Picking out Bordin.
It's a great pass, wasn't it? Inside the fullback. Bordin was just unable to pull it down. Mind you, I think he's given him offside, or handball, one of the two.
Setzini. This is Balleri. Now Brolin. And Pecchia penalised.
Yes, I think we saw Mr. Paretto during the first 20 minutes of the game. He let a lot of things go. There's just a couple of tugs at each other there from the players. And initially, he was letting a lot of little incidents like that go, and the football was flowing. But I think after the sending off, he's obviously decided he's got to be a lot sterner with his decisions.
Corradini's pass, picking out Pecchia. Now Buzo. It's his turn. Gambaro has Bordin ahead of him, but fails to link with him. Bordin, the former Atalanta player who followed coach Lippi from that club. Zola for Parma. Minotti. They back to Asprilla. Almost fell that for Melli. And Buzo has to clear.
He did ever so well, Minotti. It was a lovely little ball into the corner of the box for Benarivo. Got forward very well, and it was a ball across the box which Asprilla picked hold of, and his shot was charged down. That's a bit more like Parma. We like to see them attacking. They're very good attacking force, and we've not really seen the best of them up to now.
Setzini, we're in injury time. All cut out by Pecchia. He read the one far too easily. Now on for Fonseca. Well, the finish was disappointing, but that sudden thrust through the middle almost embarrassed Parma.
Yeah, it was a good, lovely little pass from Pecchia. Only a couple of yards. Nice little diagonal run from Fonseca. And he did have the awareness to try and trip the goalkeeper because Bucci had made a bit of a rash exit from his goal. And Fonseca just fouled with his lob.
We've had now 3 minutes of injury time. Benarivo. This is Zola. Splendid turn. He couldn't get away from Bordin. Now goes Fonseca, clattering into the boards from the weight of Sensini's challenge.
I think that might be a nice time to bring this half to a close, actually, Pete. It's been a little bit scrappy the last 5 or 6 minutes, and with this little hold up now, there can't surely be too much to go. It would be a nice time for Partido to end the first half. Yeah, that was just a challenge and the follow-through, really. Nice bit of advertising, though, for whoever's got that board over there.
I don't think Fonseca's thinking about that at the moment. Got a nasty whack in, I think, the rib cage there. So he is still off the field.
We need him on it. Sorry for butting in there, Pete. We need him on the field because he is one player that will definitely brighten up a dull afternoon, and this game was actually fizzling out slightly.
Well, he made a very sudden recovery then.
He ambushed him there, didn't he?
Here's Fonseca now. Well, if he is injured, they'll patch him up at half-time, which should come any second now. Yana's turn. He's had a good first half. Keeping Brolin quiet, certainly. So that's the way of it then at half-time. An excellent start for Napoli, taking the lead through Gambaro after only 3 minutes.